everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I believe this is episode 4. Oh my gosh, this is actually episode 4? Wait. Yeah, this is episode 4. Hello, thank you, consistency. But yeah, I really just want to get right into it. You guys are probably like, oh, like this isn't like a podcast setup. And that's actually one of the first topics that I want to get into for all the people watching, all the people listening. I know the mic quality sounds better this week. Listen. Again, like I said, the trials and tribulations of starting. But nonetheless, let's get into the episode. Let's get into the topic, and it's about starting before you're ready, starting before you have the equipment, starting before all of that. Because as you guys can see, I'm not in a podcast studio, but I have a podcast, and it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and it's on YouTube. So what is the difference between me having a podcast? You know, here's my logic with this. If I was in a podcast studio, right, you might take me more seriously, but that doesn't mean the things that I'm saying is some serious. You know what I'm saying? It just means I'm in the studio. I'm sitting down in an AC climate controlled room with probably some good lighting and some stand-up mics. And boom, you're going to take me a little bit seriously. But one thing I also do want to highlight is starting before you're ready, starting before you have all the expensive cameras, before I have like 3-4 cameras to keep you guys engaged and have all these angles. No, babe. We're not there just yet. We're well on the way, as you can see. Again, this is, my 4th episode out here, and the thing is like, right now, like this whole week, I was like, okay, I need to film the podcast. And then again, I could have filmed it in a nice background and stuff like that. But I was like, honestly, I do want to talk about that. I really do want to talk about that because I just know for me, that's something I struggled with a lot with content, especially. I was like, I need the most crispy quality content. I need the mic to sound good. And yes, all of those are important. But as somebody who is in the content game right now, UGC, organic media, all of this, I'm really seeing a shift into authenticity and just being real, because like if I'm in a studio, it seems really polished. And I know that like recently, the best videos I have been performing and the ones that are even hitting with me recently are something that feels like a FaceTime, not something that seems so authoritative. Like, I don't want to sit in a podcast studio and make you guys believe that I have everything figured out, that I am all knowing and I know the answers, because I don't. I'm literally figuring this shit out as I go. I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to tell you guys that just yet because I've been working on something and I've been planning something and I'm super, super excited for the month of March. Oh my goodness. Not only is it your girl's birthday month, but we have some great plans. And one thing I've learned with that, and trust me, you guys will know all the tea in due time, is that you learn by doing and you learn by having the belief in yourself that you can do it. But yeah, we just really kicked off this episode really talking about the waiting game. Let's call it the waiting game. The waiting game is, in other words, analysis paralysis. It's when you're doing the research or you're finding all of these reasons that could be rooted in fear. It could be rooted in self-doubt. It could be rooted in all these emotions. But the truth is, sometimes we're just scared to start, or even we're scared of the success, because that's kind of what I've been realizing on my journey is how much work it takes to really be successful and to, again, start a brand and to really go after your dreams. Like, it really does take a lot of work. Like, please, to all my small business owners, entrepreneurs, especially in today's world, especially if you're young, props to you, honestly. Like, I've learned so much in these 2 months of the year that I'm just like, wow, okay? It takes so much work. And there was a part of me that knew that because of the rooms that I would be in, or the podcast I would listen to, or, the inspirational people in my life. Like, I would see that and be like, okay, wow, that's a lot of work. At the same time, I've known that I am the individual that's meant to do something like that. But at the same time, I was still scared because that's a lot of responsibility. Like, when you're running a company and eventually you get employees, you are there, like, that's your responsibility to make sure that they have food on the table for their families. Like, that's a lot of responsibility, right? And so stuff like that. So in my mind, I feel like for me, it was a lot of like the fear of success in a type of way. But at the same time, I feel like that was my comfort zone, or the old version of me trying to keep me safe, with all good reason. But I kind of had to let that version of me go. And it's been a hard season. Honestly, I've been kind of grieving my old self, and that's another topic to get into. But the waiting game is honestly, an interesting time because at the same time, yes, you can learn so much and you're able to apply that. But at some time in that room, you're going to have to realize, like, I am distracting myself. Okay, let's get into topic 2. And this is all about showing up anyways. Showing up without the equipment, showing up despite not knowing everything, because honestly, you're not going to know everything. Like, all these people that have made it actually figured it out as they went. Because you're not just born knowing how to start a business. And they also don't teach it in school. So, like, again, you learn by doing, and you learn by surrounding yourself with people who are already doing it. Because even if you aren't learning specifically like the foundations and every little thing that goes into starting a business, being around people who own a business and who are running a business, like, you're able to pick up on the things that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really do learn along the way. And as someone who has really been just going through this, they call it the terror barrier. It's like when you go through an uncomfortable time in your life, or when you go through change, when you've been comfortable, you're going to go through this really uncomfortable time where everything inside of you is going to want to turn around, and it's going to want to go back to your old life, but you're going through this despite that. And it's building character, okay? Character development or whatever. And basically, a lot of things are being revealed to me, revealed. A lot of things are being revealed to me as I'm going on this journey. And I'm starting to realize that, like, people, like, I'll be going to these events, or I will be doing my research, or I'll be just networking. And the people that are coming into my life while doing this, opening doors. The research that I'm doing, opening doors in my mind, like, even just staying on the course, like, you learn by doing. And I really want you to hear me when I say this, is because it's like, oh yeah, well, no, duh. But are you doing anything to go towards your goals, to go towards your dreams? On that note are you doing more than just busy work? Dang, I should have held your hand before I really got into the podcast. But like, no, generally though, like, another thing that happens when you are staying the course and you are going through this terror barrier, you are gaining momentum. You are gaining this motion and movement, and that is where change happens. It's like cause and effect. Like, you know for sure if you do nothing, nothing's going to happen. But if you are actively trying and you are being intentional for X amount of time, it's only a matter of time before Y effect happens. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing something. You know, you're like, I know I'm doing more than I was, and that's a win. And also, you're building self-confidence. That's with anything. Like, the more you do it, that's where confidence comes from, you know? And honestly, the only definition of confidence is self-trust. It's having that trust within yourself, and that comes from action. I used to have a speech impediment, mind you. Like, genuinely, I went to speech classes in elementary, and now all I do is yap. All I do is talk, you know? It's so funny when you really start like doing it and you start gaining this momentum. God or the universe will literally send you signs. It's literally going to send people in your path to be like, keep going. Honestly, one thing that I've really noticed and that has just really been keeping me grounded on this journey that I've been on since the start of 2026 is that having a belief in yourself, like, to the point where you're like, I kind of am crazy for thinking that big of myself, that is exactly where you want to be. In fact, even push further from that, because guys, if it is a reality for somebody, it could be a reality for you. Do you understand that? Like, say Elon Musk, billionaire, whatever. If it can happen for him, it could happen for you, you know? And another thing that I want to add, that, and I'm constantly preaching it, is be around people who also dream big and who also think big of themselves. Like, I am constantly surrounded by either entrepreneurs or creatives who see such a big future for themselves, and they think so highly of themselves. That is the energy you want, because they're really, like, there's no room for self-doubt. Like, sometimes you have those thoughts creep in, and that really is just the old you trying to keep you safe, or the old you trying to keep you comfortable. Also, having a big dream or a big goal or an idea isn't as crazy as you think about it. Just for a second, hold on, catch my drift. Think about how crazy it must have sounded to be like, ooh, I just wish I could just capture this moment. Like, look at this. Let me just, like, imagine grabbing it and then holding it, and then you have a forever moment in your hand. That is what it sounded like when somebody was thinking about a picture. You know what I'm saying? Or even a video. Like, guys, it had to be a crazy idea. Or even AC. Yeah, imagine someone be like, you know what? I'm going to take the wind and I'm going to put it inside. Yep, I'm sick of this heat, you know? And that's another thing I want to talk about too. Sometimes you have to be so sick of your conditions. And that's why being uncomfortable is good. Like, when people lose their jobs, they have this immediate sense of urgency because they have to. So sometimes putting yourself in controlled uncomfortability, it brings out this version of you. And sometimes, no, honestly, I think some of us are just too comfortable. In the first episode, Luke was talking about being on a futon because, guys, sometimes we are just too comfortable, you know? And if we are too comfortable, why would we change? Why would we do anything else? You know? So sometimes chasing uncomfortability, even in the gym, I'm going to always try to find analogies, but uncomfortability is the only way to grow. So if you are really going through an uncomfortable time, know that it literally is growth. It's definitely going to be character development. That is just not debatable. That is going to happen regardless. That's just part of the equation. And then the physical things that you're manifesting or wanting, those are going to come in just because of who you are. Like money, I heard this quote. And if this is what you're wanting, a lot of times we go through uncomfortable things because we want money, we want freedom, we want these things, right? It says money has a funny way of finding exceptional people. I believe that was the quote. It says money has a funny way of finding exceptional people, ambitious people, hard work. Yes, you know, because I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know, hard work does not equate to money. In fact, the rich don't really work that much. They make their money work for them. And also, one of our last topics that I really want to get into is that we are not really working for money. We are not working for an X dollar amount. You think you are, you know, 10K a month or whatever. You're just saying, I want to be free. I don't want to ask someone to go to the bathroom. I don't want to ask for days off a month so I can go do what I want to do. You want to be free. That's what you have to realize. A lot of us are chasing an emotion, and that's why there's so much emotion behind money. That's why some people spend it for dopamine. That's why, again, Psychology of Money, read it if you have not. But money is, honestly, I don't like to say irrelevant. It's just a tool. Money is just a tool. Because honestly, who you have to become to acquire a certain dollar amount, that is so much more valuable than the actual money itself. That's why I think it's 90-something% of lottery winners lose everything because they didn't acquire all the things that you need to be a millionaire, billionaire. It's that deep because honestly, millionaires have to go through things where they build confidence in themselves. They build this belief in themselves. They build, it's just character development and also the skills that you acquire from, you know, building businesses and making the connections and, you know, consuming the right things. Then nobody could really tell you anything. And it's not even a sense of nobody can tell me nothing. No, it's just again, that trust and that confidence in yourself is such a grounding feeling, in my opinion. And honestly, I feel if you can really, you know, make a successful business and you can go through all of those things, what can you not do? You've even learned to regulate your system. You've learned to be more solution-based person than a let's worry now person. A lot of entrepreneurs don't really worry about, say, things oh my God, this money expense. They're okay. I was actually talking to one of my mentors and he was honestly, I had to pay this big thing. And honestly, I'm happy and I'm grateful. And he explained it because he says, I am a successful entrepreneur that gets to have successful entrepreneur problems. Hello, you know, and hearing it in that way is wow, it changes the perspective. Wow, honestly, a lot of the things and the struggles and the things that I'm going through now, I've really been applying what he said. And I'm just wow, I am so grateful that I'm having the trials and tribulations that I am, because I say as a content creator, all the trials and the tribulations I'm going through as a content creator, I am having the problems a content creator has. Hello? Guys, that it was literally one of my goals and my dreams 2-something years ago. And I'm doing it. And like sometimes you have to take a step back. Like maybe it's not exactly what it looked like in my head, but I'm doing it and I'm taking like steps closer to where I want to be. I'm learning ways to grow my business, grow all these things. And I'm just like, wow, like this is super cool. Like it's super, super cool. Like once you really kind of be like, all right, cool. Like sure, that happened, or whatever the heck you're going through is, you realize like, wow, like I am grateful. Like this is a great thing. This is a great thing. And also when you are dealing with, you know, uncomfortability and you are dealing with these things that feel heavy or these certain things, like it means you're growing. It means you're living. It means you're living. Like honestly, like when I was literally going through the major things that I was going through health-wise, I just remember talking to God and being like, wow, like if you help me through this, I will live my life. I will live my life. I will do the things that challenge me. I will lift up others. I will help others. I will be an amazing individual. I just remember having those conversations. And it's like, when you are going through those hard times, you are still living. You actually still have the chance to do something about it. You still have the chance to get up and do something the next day. You're feeling it on all spectrums. Even feeling emotions lets you know that you're alive. Bro, like Grey's Anatomy, guys, I just found out today that, like, you know, McSteamy, you know, Mark Sloan, he's no longer with us because of ALS. That just hit me because it's just like, wow, like, yeah, we're not here forever. We really aren't here forever. And we, honestly, I feel like forget about that and we take that for granted. And one of the things that he said is like, I spent so much time, you know, worrying. I spent so much time in my head and fearful. And it's like, wow, every day really is a gift and we don't know when it's our last. Truly and truly and truly and truly. So even the bad times, like even the bad times is a good thing because we're still here. So I guess my main message for this episode really is, if you are in that period of uncomfortability and discomfort, know that you're in it. Know that you are in the game. You're not just watching, you're part of the game. Yeah, you're just in it. If you're going through a hard time and if you're in that between, you took a bet on yourself. You know, you took a shot for yourself. And it's like, it might not take a month, as you guys have probably noticed on the journey. It might not even take a year. It might take 2, 5, 8, 10. It might take a long time to get to where you're going. There's no specific time that you were promised. And if you can just stick through and have faith in yourself, have faith in a higher power, it will take you really far, honestly. I've learned that along the way. But I hope that this podcast episode is one of my first ones that I was by myself. I really, 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 really hope that you guys were able to take something away from it. I am definitely going to have more by myself because I do want to connect with you guys. I want to even take more time with the practice of talking to you guys on a one-on-one level because I don't know, like I've always wanted to do this and like this is me doing it, you know? I don't know. I don't care if there's one viewer, one listener. I'm going to do it because, again, I see such big things for myself. And I'm honestly so proud of myself because of just me staying the course, me just continuing to show up, even when the easier path is not to do this. Like, I actually have plans to go do something tonight and today, but I was like, oh my gosh, I need to record my podcast. I need to record my podcast because Sunday is coming up and Sunday is coming up quick because time is moving fast. Guys, we're about to enter March, my birthday month. I'm about to be 23. That's going to be an episode. Oh my gosh, my birthday episode. Ooh, child, I'm already knowing. We're going to get deep on that episode because what? The birthday blues hit every year. And if you're a girl especially, oh my goodness. But that's for that episode. And that's going to wrap up this episode. I really do hope that you guys were able to take away something from this. This is kind of like one of my first ones like that I've done by myself. A lot of them have been interview styles and I love those, but I really do want to connect with you guys more one-on-one. A big part of this podcast was really having an outlet that I could express myself in. Thank you for listening. This is like my 4th episode. If you've listened to every single one, if this is your first one, if you just listen to me in general, thank you. Like seriously. I hope that you are finding some value within them, and I hope that you are giving yourself grace. You know, I hope that you are being patient with yourself and patient with life because it's not easy. You know, we're in February, which is so crazy to say. Like, time literally is not real. I don't care. Argue with your mom because what? But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.